I've got my red robe on, so let's review. I've got my red robe on, so let's review. I've got my red robe on, I'm gonna say who's right or wrong. I've got my red robe on, so let's review. Hello, YouTubers and all my other social media platforms that are getting this video. It is D. To some, that's Dwayne. To some, that's Diesel. And to the family, that's the D. That's only for the family. Welcome to the Red Robe Review, where I review and discuss content that does resonate with me. Anything or pretty much everything that I want to talk about, I come and I discuss it. So what's on my heart to discuss right now is this underlining gender war that we have. What inspired this for me was when I watched the Cam Newton and I think her name was Dr. Brian interview, and they were having this big old viral moment about creating broken homes, which was a great conversation. If you have not seen that, please go tune into that platform and support both of those beautiful black people, Cam Newton as well as Dr. Brian. But they had a very interesting dialect. And what I loved most about their dialect was there was not a lot of yelling, screaming, name calling, blame game, but they both, in their own ways made some type of valid points. But I more so sided with a lot of what that doctor was saying, more so than what Cam was saying. But nevertheless, everybody's opinion to a certain extent is valid, so we're not going to discredit some of the points that Cam was making. So Cam Newton, is, I guess he's between 30 and 40 or 30 and 50, and he has 8 children from 3 different women. And this particular doctor, she thinks she was in her 40s, between 40 and 50, and she has no children and she's not married. And so the way that a lot of things were interpreted was that, in certain ways, he was a success. In certain ways, he was a failure because of how he created his children and his home situation. And to her, certain people thought that she was a success, and certain people thought that she was a failure because of how she chose to create, her home and her situation. So this underlining gender war and gender expectation that we have somewhere in the society, we're going to have to get out of that, because there are things that biologically men do that women cannot, and vice versa. I'm not even going to talk about as far as that is concerned. But as far as what people's responsibility is in this world and what it is that we all have to do, whether you are a man or a woman, you should know how to be self-sufficient. You should know how to earn a living for yourself. You should also know how to clean and take care of yourself and cook for yourself and nourish yourself. Like, you should know these things regardless of what your gender may be. Now, if you happen to get in a relationship and you're able to have a partner that takes on more of one thing than the other, then great. So if you are a woman and you get with a man that provides a lot of money and provisional things for you, and you can do the cooking and you can do the cleaning, then great. But it does not negate or take away the fact that before you got with this particular individual woman, you should have been able to provide for yourself and be provisional for yourself and protect even yourself prior to you getting with this individual. And man, it does not negate that you should know how to cook for yourself and clean behind yourself and do some of the things that you're kind of expecting a traditional woman to come in and do. And even in the non-traditional people, for the women that are more provisional, and the men that are more cooking and cleaning and nurturing and things of that sort, you still, as a non-traditional man or woman, you still should be able to do all things for yourself before you get with your mate and you guys kind of align your lives together. So if you are a very provisional and protective woman, it does not negate the fact that you still should know how to cook and clean for yourself and do those type of things for yourself. And if you are a man that is more in the cooking, cleaning, stay at home dad type of a thing, it does not negate the fact that you still should know how to earn a living for yourself, and that you should know how to earn wages, and you should know how to do masculine things, or those kind of things for yourself. It does not negate that you should know how to do these things. So it really bothers me when I see men that are very nurturing, and they know how to cook, they know how to clean, they know how to sew, and they know how to do those type of things, that somehow their masculinity is questioned. Just like it bothers me when I see women that are career driven and that are successful in business or successful in their career, or they know how to build, or they know how to nail a picture in the wall, or they know how to do those type of things, that somehow their femininity is now questioned because they have ambitions, or because they're able to do certain things that are talent based or skilled based. I think that this is really, really a disservice to one another. Why can't we just let men man how they want to man, and women woman how they want a woman? And it does not have anything to do with taking people's masculinity away from them or femininity away from them. Just because a woman is a career driven woman, it does not make her not feminine. Just because a woman asserts herself, it doesn't take away from her femininity. And there are some women who can very easily dismantle men verbally, and that can outwork men in certain male dominated industries. But it doesn't take away their femininity, just like there are men who can work very well and very effectively in female dominated industries. It doesn't take away from their masculinity. We all, at some point in life, we all have to be able to find and have balance for ourselves. And I really, really hate this idea that if a woman is not traditional, or a man is not traditional, somehow in that lineup, their masculinity or their femininity is questioned or taken away from them, because it's really just not true. There are plenty of people out there that have shown us that that is just not true. So as a society, we have to just really begin to move beyond that, and we have to really stop entertaining that conversation and stop making it as if a woman has no purpose or a woman has no use if she is not married by a certain age with children. Because guess what? If she does get to a point of life where she's about 50 or 45 and she is not married, she has not had children, guess what? That woman still has more life in front of her. You don't know. She could have harvested her eggs and may have a surrogate at 55 or 60. She also could adopt a child, later on in life, and then might not meet her husband until she's in her 70s. So again, we have to stop doing that to people. And for men that have a bit more of a feminine career or a feminine alignment about them, it does not make them less men or less masculine because of that thing. In most cases, when a man or when a woman is really a high earner, both of them need someone who is not as busy as they are, that can handle things on the other end. Now, whether you want to consider that other end the back end or the front end is a bit subjective, but you need someone that can handle and balance that off. One of my favorite people, Mona Scott Young, I love the way that she praises her husband. Also, Monique Hicks, the actress, I love the way that she praises her husband, and I love the fact that they don't discount what their husbands do to help them be where they are and what they do. And there are a lot of men out there who, have stay-at-home wives who value them as well. But this is not the point that I'm making in this moment right now. So, but I'm saying that to say that even though Monique Hicks or Mona Scott Young, even though from the outside looking in, it appears like they are the strong businesswoman that they are, and they are earning, a lot of money or what have you, those women still kneel in respect to their husbands. They still consider their husbands' decisions. They still include them in things, and they share with their husbands because they appreciate the fact that their husbands are there making sure that the home front is being ran accordingly, and they have productive children in this world. When they come home off the road, they have a nice, home to go to. So I think that, again, that's a beautiful, 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 beautiful thing. And again, there are a lot of wealthy men out there, like, for example, Steve Harvey, whose wife, Marjorie, now, for the most part, she's pretty much takes care of the home front, but he values her. He values her opinion. He tries to keep her included in things. And I'll give you one better than that, D.L. Hughley. D.L. Hughley, who has had a marriage that has been together for a very, very long time. And he is usually the one in the spotlight, but he still brings a lot of respect and value to his wife, who raised the children, stayed at home, and so on and so forth. Relationships are supposed to bring us balance, and they're supposed to provide us with a safe space so that we can kind of, redeem and balance ourselves off. So when people try to push these narratives that, a man is not masculine if he's a stay-at-home dad, or if he's not working or making as much money as his wife or his woman may be doing, or a woman is not feminine if she's out earning her man, if she's always going chasing her career, and if she's assertive or if she's aggressive, somehow that takes away from her femininity. No. No, 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 no. No. It doesn't work that way. We all have masculinity in us. We all have femininity in us. And if we are truly being divinely led, we know how to tap into all parts of ourselves so that we can yield the best results for ourselves. That woman that may be extremely masculine on the job may be very delicate and feminine at home, but it is not her responsibility to show people that she is not personally tied to, or people really outside of her household or family, that side of her. Just like a man who may be very domineering and very aggressive on the job, but when he gets home, he may be a little bit more softer and gentler. It is not his responsibility to reveal that side of himself to any and everybody and everyday people in society, especially people that he does not have any emotional connections with or emotional attachments to. So we really have to get out of this, because it's an underlying gender war, and I just don't think that it's serving any of us very well. Now, back to the Cam Newton and Dr. Bryant type of conversation. Again, I don't want to really get too much into that, because that was a long interview and those people spoke for themselves. And my opinion on whether somebody's creating a broken house or not, honestly, is null and void, because that's not really as much of my concern. I think it's important for children to have the love of their biological parents if they can, or if they don't, if you can't have your biological parents, as long as you have some kind of maternal figure that is pouring into you and loving you, and you also have a fraternal figure that is pouring into you and loving you, I think that still can help you lead to the balance that you need. So whether that maternal figure or that father figure is directly in the home with you, or whether you go see them in sparings or what have you, it doesn't really matter, as long as you have the relationship, as long as you have the connection, and as long as when push really comes to shove, you can reach out and get to them, and you have a walking demonstration of what it is to be loved by a man, and you have a walking demonstration of what it is to be loved by a woman. Masculine love and feminine love will bring us all balance, and I think that if we focused more on that, the world truly will be a much better place. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Red Robe Review. Again, it's your boy D. To some, that's Dwayne. To some, that's Diesel. And to the family, that's the D. That's only for the family. Till next time, Red Robe Review.